Good morning. I'm speaking on Treaty 6 territory, and I acknowledge the Métis people who share a very deep connection with this land. Late last week, the Conference Board of Canada released its monthly index of consumer confidence. Their numbers are a serious warning sign for Alberta. While consumer confidence has dropped 8.8 points across Canada, in Alberta it's plunged by more than 20 points, the biggest drop of any province or region by far. Consumer confidence is now at levels we haven't seen since early in the pandemic. Almost 40% of Albertans surveyed expect their finances to get worse in the next 6 months, and more than 40% say they're worse off than they were 6 months ago. Nearly 60% say it's a bad time to make a major purchase, numbers we haven't seen since 2020. These are extremely concerning signals, especially given that they're coming while oil prices have remained above $100 per barrel for several months. There's a lot of money flowing into Alberta, but it's clear that Alberta families are not seeing any of it. In fact, thanks to the UCP, Alberta families are actually worse off. Inflation is racing ahead at rates we haven't seen for 40 years, while wages are stagnant. That means a pay cut for families in real terms. At the same time, the UCP is picking Alberta families' pockets in every way you can imagine. $1 billion income tax grab, cuts to child and family benefits, seniors benefit, income support, and AISH, more property taxes, more school fees, more tuition fees, more interest on student loans, more for camping, more for car insurance, and more for utilities. In practicality, every monthly bill that Alberta families get, the UCP has made it more expensive. Plunging consumer confidence has serious implications for small businesses. A real economic recovery depends on Albertans feeling secure in going into their local restaurants and bars and retail stores. It's incredible that the UCP has created a situation where the provincial government is rolling in money, but a working family can't have a meal out on a Friday night because of their electricity bill. That's bad for the family, it's bad for the restaurant, and bad for the folks who work at that restaurant. Their cost of living crisis comes while the UCP is completely adrift with no one in charge. They ignored the warning signs for months because they were too busy fighting each other. And now that the crisis is here, they're failing to act because they are too busy fighting each other. Alberta families and businesses need real action. It's unacceptable for the UCP to be congratulating themselves on high energy prices while Alberta families fall further behind each month. An NDP government will always be focused on keeping more money in your pocket. Thank you, and I'm happy to take your questions.
And we'll start with questions in person.
The inflationary pressures are something we're seeing nationwide, but why do you think Alberta specifically this month dropped so dramatically in consumer confidence?
Yeah, that's a great question, and so I think there's a number of factors for it. So we know that there are many costs that are outside of the control of the provincial government, but we know that for months now there are a number of policy decisions they've made which has made it more expensive for families here in Alberta. The fact that they've increased personal income taxes by $1 billion. They've made cuts to child and family benefits, to seniors benefit, income support, AISH. They've removed caps on utilities and car insurance, which have skyrocketed under this government. All at the same time that the province has posted and projected a significant surplus, yet the supports they're giving to Albertans are according to one UCP MLA, a paltry amount. And so the government is failing to support Albertans at a time when costs have shot up, wages are stagnant, and this means that the cost of living is more expensive for every Albertan.
So how do you think the government should tackle those stagnant wages? I mean, isn't it up to business to, if they're good, if they're the ones who are rolling in the dough, aren't they the ones who should be paying employees more? Or?
Well, I mean, there's a number of factors at play. So the government of Alberta is rolling in royalty dollars Yet again, we're not seeing companies reinvesting those dollars back into Alberta, which has a serious implication. As costs go up, Alberta families are choosing to put off major purchases. Some are foregoing going out to restaurants, which has a significant impact at the local level. And so that's where the dollars are not being spent and churned around in our local economy, which exacerbates the problem. So a solution is that the government of Alberta should first of all end the billion-dollar tax grab that they've got going on. And I can tell you that an NDP government would immediately reverse that cut and put money back into the pockets of Albertans. A number of other issues or areas that I've mentioned, from increasing in school fees to tuition hikes to camping fees, utility rates, car insurance, all of those, if they were addressed, and an NDP government would address those, would mean money back in the pockets of Albertans, who could then in turn spend it in our local economy, which would benefit everybody across the board.
Go to questions on the phone. Just a reminder to press star 9 if you're joining us on the phone, and use the raise hand function if you're joining us via Zoom. And seeing none, that's all for today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So much for watching, and to learn more, check out albertasfuture.ca.